The GLSA President, Dr. Stathis Avramidis, will present the contribution of Lifesaving to Olympism.
Where's the pointer? Who has the pointer?
Here it is.
I was going to make a 3-hour speech, but I am going to use the bikini principle, so I will cover only the most important parts. If you see this photo, you will see how life-saving and swimming activities took place many years ago. You can see the rope that was used as a water safety material. The people were hanging on this rope and they were staying in the shallow, and their swimming costume was more clothes than what you can have in your wardrobe. So from this day until today, there are a lot of things that have taken place and we have progressed. But imagine how much safer we are because now we have introduced this sport in our lives. So this sport is helping us because the athletes set in motion skills of intellect, judgment, acuity, initiative, self-control, self-regulation, volitional development and consistency. It is a way of expressing our energy, reserves. It tests, harnesses, cultivates the physical strength, and it's a gentle release of our energy. And it's a healthy gateway in our leisure time. People view the sport as a game. Games and sports correspond with the biological structure of the body, and the biology of our body perceives life-saving sport as a game for which we coordinate our movement for a purpose. Within human nature, we seek recognition, we have the competitiveness, we seek distinction, superiority and honor. So we have moral satisfaction that creates self-confidence, a very important element for our well-being. The peer administration strengthens our self-worth, especially in our adulthood when we will need this element for crisis management. The successful stories that the media post during and after the competition create a sense of bravery to the winners, and the success is translated to peer acceptance, family acceptance, and society. We create a supporting network on which we will rely in moments of crisis in our later life. We gain confidence, positive attitude, and we are capable, because of our molding character through the sport, to take risks in our life, because we have learned to win or to lose. The youth feels the need for development. To mold our body, we need physical and mental effort, self-control, and self-discipline. This leads to our inner freedom. Discipline, rule obedience, and respect to ourselves and fellows are virtues of dignity that this sport is creating. We are gaining synergy of teammates and coaches, camaraderie, teamwork, team spirit, and mutual respect. The rivalry and the competition have a common starting point. Using legitimate means and noble goals are very important elements that this sport contains. The unfair and the passionate rivalry is based on selfish motives that lead to unhealthy results. On the other hand, fair play is something really important that this sport has, because like Harald said before, it is in our veins to do the sport. and fair play, it's a very core element to this. We emphasize in the victory, but not as a sterile triumph. Life-saving importance on the sport for saving lives, and it allows athletes to convert their training into enjoyment and recreation. The victory must not lead to arrogance, egotism, self-sufficiency, cheap superiority, chauvinism, and a thirst for material benefits. On the other hand, it must be a springboard for higher goals. On the other hand, defeat must not morally overwhelm, not lead to those that are losing to resignation. They must generate self-criticism, redefine their ability, and rebuild the mental and physical strength. It is important in this game, like in every game, in any competition in life, that the opponent gives value to the winners and to the game. Lifesavers are not looking each other as enemies. Without opponents, there is no competition. So we accept victory with humility. We value the success of the opponent. We discourage any victory that has been generated by illegal means. And the winner is crowned among people with similar abilities. So he's the top among equally capable lifesavers. The lifesavers compete to win, but the ultimate goal is to save lives. We want to build motivation for training and discipline. Losers in life-saving sport are only those that did not participate in the life-saving championship. Those that said, I am not very well trained, I am not sure, I don't want to do it, I will fail. So these are the people that didn't have the opportunity to do it, and therefore they have lost an important experience. Life-saving sport educates both the spectators and the athletes. The athletes are trained and educated directly, and the spectators, they are watching and they are educated indirectly, especially in the simulated emergency rescue competitions in the water or on land, where we have simulated emergencies that the organizers with great fantasy can organize. Everyone is learning something, either by doing or by watching. Life-saving sport is based on the ideal of sportsmanship, of Olympism and humanity. It promotes the humanitarian ideal and the symmetrical development of material and spiritual culture. It motivates us to seek beauty and quality in life. The supreme prizes for the athletes are honor and excellence, not money as we see in other more popular commercial sports. So this comes very close to the Olympic spirit of the Olympic Games of the ancient Greeks, whose only prize was fame and an olive wreath and the reputation in eternity. The humanitarian role of the sport is secured, and after today's symposium it's very, very clear for all of us. The spirit of the international fair play and the healthy competition is also another element that it's very well attached to the sport. It diminishes the cross-national rivalry, it promotes a harmonious global coexistence, and it prevents racism and discrimination. In ancient Greece, the opposing towns used to cease fire and have a truce period where everyone, the enemies, were joining and they were competing. Today, opposing lifeguard agencies could do the same. They come together in the same place, they put aside their politics, and they enjoy and learn through this sport. This sport cultivates the respect for other nations, it consolidates dignity of people and nations, it encourages friendship and solidarity. It can become a humanitarian pedestal. It can become also the best ambassador of peace. Weak and rich states compete equally. Wealth, power, language, race and religion fail to raise barriers. Freedom, responsibility, dignity and equality reinforce democracy. This sport creates harmony among soul and body. It demonstrates the altruism of Olympism and the Olympic Games through the rescue skills. It creates conditions for a moral society. It develops cooperation, camaraderie, teamwork, volunteerism, and social contribution. Without spirituality, the Olympic movement would be just a small Olympic catechism without substance. Olympism is based on the good and benevolent ideal. The Olympians should be supreme moral beings. Life-saving sport asks participants to gain spiritual and moral completion. I would like to finish with this painting, which is very interesting. The founder of the modern Olympic Games, Pierre de Coubertin, had a father who was an artist. So, way before life-saving sport was introduced, he envisioned what sports would be included in an allegorical way on this painting. If he would be alive today, I would hope that after 2032 he would be interested to see that because of our symposium that aims to generate publicity and awareness about this effort, and because of this long effort that the International Lifesaving Federation is making to bring this humanitarian sport into the higher sporting stage of the world, he would think to include a sport lifesaver in this painting. Thank you.